This poor fella had to do it 6 times before John was sufficiently satisfied with the quality of what he had to do. And the man was beyond belief. He was an angel flying around in heaven, this wonderful thing that he'd been able to achieve against all the obstacles.
Gentlemen, welcome back again. This time round we're speaking about Ken Wallen, who was the model, well his head was, the model of the robotics. And there's a really interesting tale that we can weave in here about a man who was so helpful to John on site during that hectic 13-month period of work, but also the Art Busters, because it was Art Busters that created the robot, well, they were intimately involved in the creation of the robotics, another passion of John Truscott. So let's have a talk. So you've spoken to Ken and you'll be able to flesh out some more personal details about the character that was John Truscott.
John's love of robotics is in Camelot when he first did it in Melbourne, and they had for the tournament scene, they made mechanical horses, and they were just exquisitely wonderful. They were J.C. Williamson productions. So he had this love of robotics, but it was also, and he included it wherever, you know, he could, that type of magic. It's about the magic of theatre, about, you know, surprise. And magic and drawing you into it. It's almost like pantomime, and it's not almost, it comes from pantomime. So Ken Wallen worked with John very early in the piece. He was there before John arrived. He, you know, was part of the project prior to John. But he had a theatre background as well, but close understanding of engineering and construction and things like that. So he became John's, you know, assistant, working very closely with him on the construction side of things. So achievement that they were. And as you said, Ken Wallen was the model for the head of the robots, which talking robots that greeted people when they came in to the Expo. And I don't know what it was like. You probably saw it, but it must have been amazing to come in to have these talking robots. You know, it's all of a sudden, and then above it, you've got the stilt walkers that get right up into the sky. That immediately lifts you into another world, which is a very John Truscott thing.
I've had immersion therapy at Expo 88.
Oh, yes, exactly.
But prior to 2013, when the then Lord Mayor sort of wrote me more or less into the project, I mean, I was on Expo site. I loved going to Times Square. I mean, my favourite restaurant was sitting in Times Square, and every Friday I went in there. But besides that, if there was a line-up to go into a pavilion, I never went in. I mean, I was woeful.
Galleries and into people's everyday lives. And that's where I think the two Johns came together. But I haven't had the chance to speak to John Underwood yet. But I suspect, I've looked at it and I think the two share very similar values.
Absolutely. And what we might do is break off, I think, on a very satisfactory interview, Denise, on Ken Wallen and Art Busters. And we're going to come back in a second, everyone, and talk about Rick Birch, because there were twin geniuses at Expo 88, John Truscott and Rick Birch. And I'm really looking forward to hearing Barbara's dissertation on how the two interacted. So thank you again, and come back in a second as we talk about Rick Birch and John Truscott. Thank you.
I was thinking about then about why he put so much into the art centre. He was one of those rare people who were just so incredibly talented, and I don't think I've ever met anyone so gifted and talented as John was. But he was happy always to take the back seat, and so he was really wanted to foster other artists and craftsmen. And I think that's probably why he wanted, you know, other artists to sort of shine inside the art centre and not so much himself. I mean, I've never known anyone to direct from behind the scenes as much